Hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. And my goodness, does it ever feel good to say that. This is the first Danganronpa recording I have done since my hiatus, and it feels good to be recording again. It really feels good. Now, before I forget, I hope everyone enjoyed the holidays. I hope you all got to celebrate whatever it is you may celebrate. I hope you got to spend time with your friends and family and that you feasted and drank until your heart was content. I hope everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves. Now then, Danganronpa. I may not remember much of what happened in the last episode. I mean, you all will. You just saw it yesterday, but for me, fair few weeks ago that I recorded that, I may not remember much. I remember that I was angry. I remember that I got incredibly pissed off with this game, and I think I'd maybe just like to take a few minutes to go over that. This could take 10 minutes, to be fair. You know what? However long it takes me to talk about this, when I finish, that's when I'll start my timer. We'll have a longer episode today to celebrate the new recordings and all of that. I've been thinking a lot about why I've been getting pissed off with this recently. What about this situation has been causing me to have such a visceral reaction to it? And I think I've reached the heart of it. Ultimately, and I have said this before, Kyoko reminds me an awful lot of my ex-boyfriend. And Makoto, how he is behaving, reminds me an awful lot of me during that relationship. And it was a very toxic relationship. It was not healthy, and it was a bit emotionally abusive at times. And so much of Kyoko's behavior is familiar to me. I see it clear as day. And the game is okaying that. The game is really hammering home everything that Kyoko has done is A-okay. Everything she has done, it was the right thing to do. She was justified in every single thing she's done. And by extension, the game is sort of, kind of, okaying what my ex did. That is my own problem. I acknowledge that. That was not the game developers' intentions. They weren't like, we're gonna fuck with some random British girl's head. That wasn't their intention. However, because Kyoko so badly reminds me of my ex, so, like her behavior reminds me of some of the stuff he did to me, and the game saying, oh yeah, that's okay, it does kind of tell me, oh, so you would think that this was okay. You would think that that was okay. You think that, like, Makoto being, like, a hapless doormat, basically going like, oh yes, Kyoko, yes, of course you were right, I was wrong, like how, oh, I thought badly of you for 2 minutes, I'm a terrible person, I should never have doubted you, like, of course you couldn't trust us, of course you had to do things your own way. Makoto's behavior, that's the right thing, the game is okaying that, and I wouldn't necessarily say I find it triggering. I do find it very upsetting, though. And maybe if the game wasn't in first person, I wouldn't be getting so angry. Like, the line that really got me, the line that damn near gave me an apoplexy, was the one at the end. I can't remember it word for word, but it was something like, and once again, I'm in Kyoko's debt. And I'm like, what for? Why are you in Kyoko's dad, and he said that earlier on in the episode when they got out of the chimney, and Makoto was like, she saved me, I owe her so much, and I'm like, no, you don't owe her for that, because she was doing what she should have done. If someone ran up to you in the street and pushed you over, the least they can do is help you up. In an ideal world, they should help you up and then apologize. You know, say like, oh my god, I don't know why I did that. I thought you were someone else. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Kyoko effectively pushed Makoto over. But for Kyoko, you know, going so hard on Makoto, the other students wouldn't have voted for him. Kyoko is directly responsible for Makoto almost getting killed, and she acknowledged that. She acknowledged that she was responsible. So her coming and getting him from the garbage pit, I'm like, yeah, that's what you should have done. You don't get bonus points for doing the bare minimum. You don't get bonus points for doing what you should be doing. And it just... If the game had said Makoto felt like he was in Kyoko's debt, maybe I wouldn't have reacted so badly. But it didn't. It's all in first person. It's all, you know, like, oh, of course, I should be so grateful to Kyoko. I should do this. I should do that. And again, it kind of places me in those feelings of, you know, like, oh yeah, I should bow down to this person. I shouldn't question them. I should go along with what they say. I don't need to think for myself. I don't need to be independent. I can just rely on them. And it's not pleasant. It is not pleasant to once again be having to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm making a hand movement and you all can't see that. I'm delving into those personality traits that I'm like I said, I look back on myself and I'm like, you pathetic dumbass. You pathetic dumbass. If you are in an emotionally abusive relationship, you're not a pathetic dumbass. You are clearly in need of help and assistance. Please talk to your friends and your family and get help. However, when I look back at me, I'm not saying that as like, oh, I look at people in terrible situations and I think they're stupid. No. When I look back at me, I am disgusted by how I reacted. I am disgusted by my lack of a spine. And to once again be having to deal with that. And here's the thing, I don't have much of a spine today. I'm not the most, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm really confident and blah, blah, blah. I'm not. I'm quite a timid person in all reality. However, you know, I like to think that, like, if I was in that situation again, I wouldn't go along with it. I'd say, no, fuck you. I'm gonna go do my own thing. Up yours. I don't need to be in this relationship. I'd like to think I've gotten stronger, and so to once again be in a position where I'm playing someone who is just mindlessly going along with it, it's upsetting. It is rather upsetting. And then the final scene. This is an issue I have with the game. It's an issue I have with a fair few visual novels, some mangas and some animes. I'm not a big manga anime person, but some of the ones I've seen, this is a trope I despise. The final scene where Kyoko, you know, basically stuck it to Monokuma and had that big speech, you know, like, one last fight, good versus evil, will justice prevail, will hope prevail, or will despair smother us all? You know, it was a good speech. If I'm thinking of this, you know, like, without any kind of emotional input, if I'm distancing myself from the fact that it's Kyoko saying it. I'm like, it's a good speech. But why was Makoto there? What purpose did he serve in that scene? Because let's be honest, that should have been Makoto's scene. Because Kyoko isn't the main character. She's not. Makoto is apparently the main character. And that scene would have been amazing character development for him. If they had entered the gym and Kyoko, you know what, I'ma be kind. I'ma be kind to Kyoko in this. Kyoko had like pushed, you know, Makoto forward and said, don't worry, I'm here for you. You've got this. You're better than you think you are. Tell him. Stick it to him. Go for it, bud. And Makoto could have had this amazing scene where he was like, you know what? Everyone has undervalued me. That's not the word I'm looking for, but it's close enough. Everyone has undervalued me. Underestimated. There we go. I get there in the end. Everyone has underestimated me. Yes, I am a normal student in a school full of ultimates, but you know what? I'm not a dumbass. I'm rather intelligent. I know you cheated the system, and I'm still standing, so you know what? One last chance, one last trial. Good versus evil. Will justice prevail? Ba 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 ba. That would have been amazing character development for Makoto, and he's the main character. It should have been him. It really should have been him saying that. But so many visual novels, animes and mangas, and I'm not saying every anime and manga, but a lot of them, they make the protagonist have no personality whatsoever. And let's be brutally honest, Makoto really doesn't have much of a personality. He trusts people. That's like his only characteristic. He's smarter than he thinks he is, and he trusts people. And that's it. And he has had no growth, no character development. Despite being the main character, the protagonist of this game, he has barely changed. And I'm gonna be brutally honest, one, the fact that it was Kyoko saying the speech kind of killed the hype for me, but two, Makoto just stood there like a fucking lemon. He just stood there like, ooh, what do? And let's be honest, the only reason why Makoto was in that scene was because the developers wanted the audience to see that scene. And for 90% of the game, the audience has been tethered to Makoto. And that's the only reason why he was there, and that is bad storytelling. I would have really loved that scene if it had been Makoto speaking. That would have been an amazing scene. And the bear puns helped. It was very funny, but it should have been Makoto delivering that speech. It really should have. And I'm just... The things pissing me off the most, one, as I've said many, many times, the game okaying Kyoko's bad behaviour, I find it upsetting. And two, Makoto's lack of character development. And I know that's a common trope. I know that is a common trope, but I would rather have a character in a visual novel who has some semblance of personality or who undergoes some form of transformation rather than the blank slate. I do not find a blank slate compelling. I simply don't. Anything else I want to speak about? You know what, I think I'm done. Oh, I've got to talk to you now, don't I? I don't want to talk to you. When can I leave? When can you fuck off, please? Fucking hell. I thought it couldn't get worse. Jesus Christ. I thought it couldn't get... genuinely was like, being in her debt, that's the worst it could be. That's the worst it could be. If she doesn't say, you don't need to thank me, I behaved abominably, I'm really sorry. If she doesn't say that, oh, Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
However,
I saw the don't thank me and I was like, yes, and then it was just yet. So you think he should be thanking you? You think that was it? I did have one last thing I wanted to speak about. The final kicker. The final kicker in what has pissed me off about Kyoko. So Kyoko admitted the reason why I didn't save you, the reason why I threw you under the bus was because I was determined that I should live. Because I want to tell my dad that I don't want to have a relationship with him. And do you know what makes that really fucking stupid? Do you know what makes that so insanely stupid? Kyoko's dad is dead. She sacrificed Makoto for a conversation with a dead man. Now, Callista, what proof do you have of that? I have some out-of-game proof, and I have some in-game proof. The out-of-game proof, from a storytelling perspective, if Kyoko's dad was alive, he would have been teased. We would have had some sighting or communication or something that indicated he was alive. Like the students would have found a mysterious letter in the dining hall, maybe saying like, I'm trying to get you out of here. I can only do so much. Don't worry. I'm here with you. A friend. You know, something like that. Or when they still had the laptop, Alter Ego would have received an email saying that, and then when they, you know, like, Alter Ego, where did the email come from? Alter Ego would have said it came from inside the school. Bum, bum, bum. Like, there would have been something. There would have been something to tease him being alive. And the in-game proof, if you haven't noticed, if you have not seen, I've been releasing the executions as shorts. 2 words for you. Blast off. It was the execution that opened the game. Monokuma kills a middle-aged man. How did Alter Ego describe the headmaster? A middle-aged man. Now, you may think, Callista, that's a stretch. The game opened with it. Whoever that man was, he must have been important. And 2, what did we get? What gift did we get at the end of chapter 5? We got the rocket from Blast Off. And what did we immediately learn about after that? Kyoko's dad. That was the game giving us like, hey, you remember the beginning of the game? You're going to want to remember that because you're going to be hearing about that guy very soon. He's dead. Kyoko sacrificed Makoto for a dead man. And that, oh, lovely, great, thanks Kyoko. And before you say, but Kyoko didn't know her dad was dead, that's irrelevant. That is completely irrelevant. I don't care that she didn't know. She still ultimately sacrificed Makoto for a dead man. It's like there is a concept in English law. I don't know if this concept is in other countries' laws. However, it's commonly known as the thin skull rule. Let's say you punch someone. It's just a punch, not particularly hard. However, that person has a medical condition, which means their skull is abnormally thin. So you punch them and they die. You were only intending to give them like a black eye. You know, it was just a scrap. You weren't meaning to kill them. However, because of their abnormally thin skull, because of their medical condition, that person ends up dying. I hope you like going to prison for murder. I hope you do, because in the eyes of the law, it is irrelevant that you didn't mean to kill him, but you did because of their medical condition. You shouldn't have punched them. you're on the hook for their death now. You can't sit there and be like, oh, but I didn't mean to. No. You're still on the hook for that. So, the fact that Kyoko didn't know her dad was dead is irrelevant. Ultimately, she sacrificed Makoto to have a conversation with a dead man. I would put money on that. I would put every single penny I own on that being true. So fuck you, Kyoko! Okay, back into it. Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Don't fucking say yeah. Makoto. You're breaking my heart, bud. You are breaking my heart. Yeah, true. I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad I didn't actually kill someone. Fuck you. Fuck you. How much stress must Makoto have gone through? How much trauma did he pick up from going through that execution, believing he was about to die? I'm glad it all worked out. There totally won't be any negative repercussions. He could be fucking traumatized for all you know. He could have serious psychological problems after this. But no, it all worked out because no one was physically hurt. It only counts if you're physically hurt. Conveniently ignoring the time you got Makoto bashed over the head by El Professor, you bitch. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. I hate her attitude. I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna pretend to be nice to Kyoko at this point. I'm like, no, fuck you. I hate her attitude. I'm really sorry if you really love Kyoko. I do apologise. However, I'm not gonna hide my emotions. I'm not doing it. No, I need to get this shit out before I develop some sort of nervous tick every single time I hear the word Kyoko, like my eyelid starts flickering or something. No, I'm not dealing with that. God damn it. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they? So they had no choice but to accept. They're trying to bring despair to the entire world. If they don't accept, then they're effectively admitting, yeah, I lied, I cheated. Ba ba ba. Huh? Because it's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the mastermind let their guard down? So I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that. Listen. And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable. Indeed. You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. I don't think it's hard to imagine at all. I think World War III has happened and there are maybe only a few people left and there was no one guarding the airwaves. And I think Junko was like, right, these airwaves are mine now, bitches. Like, that's what I think went down. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off. However, and yet, somehow, the mastermind was able to do it. In other words. But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason? So they had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other. They wanted to show the world because they wanted to bring the world despair.
It would seem...
The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
In other words...
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why? Makoto, you could figure this out for yourself. You could figure this out for yourself, but if you had more confidence. If you had more confidence.
Correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey.
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
That's right.
And for those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink into despair, the mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal as the ultimate despair. What? I'm just shaking my head sadly. I'm just shaking my head. He could figure this out. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. He's smarter than he gives himself credit for. Oh, bud. Oh, bud. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right. It is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet... So you can get angry, Makoto. You can get angry. Okay, whatever, it's cool. It's not cool in the slightest. That same motivation is what led the mastermind to revealing their weakness. What?
In other words...
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
At the very least.
At least, that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves?
Indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. What I'm doing, because you're the only one who has had any part in solving the mysteries. No one else has done anything. It's not like you've relied on Makoto throughout every single trial to prove your points, because without him, people don't seem to trust you. Oh no, you're the only one who's helping. I'm gonna take a sip. What am I drinking today? My own tears of frustration. Okay. Oh, girl, it is so amusing that you think that was Junko. It's so quaint, so cute that you haven't yet figured out that wasn't Junko. And she wasn't killed because she broke the rules. She was killed because, like I said, I think the real Junko just wanted to cause Mukuro despair. You know, what better despair than to have someone you trust betray you? What was the button? What was it? Oh shit, it was E! No!
Right.
No, I don't want auto. Shit! What was it? Was it H? It wasn't H. Oh, balls. Q. It was Q! Fuck. God damn it. Oh, well. So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all their proper rules to get me killed. Again, it was all to get me killed. Me. I. Self. So nice to know where your obligations lie, Kyoko. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
You are damn fucking straight, bitch. Damn straight. You should be thanking him. Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. Don't you love how she just sweeps over Makoto's sacrifice? Don't you just love how she sweeps over and completely ignores the fact that he put himself in danger by trying so fiercely to defend her? And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion?
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in a perfect form.
In other words,
it would only do the mastermind harm to have Whoops! Let's try that again. It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they'd violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge. I was saying this to, oh my... I cannot remember your name. And you're one of my regular commenters. I am so sorry. 1 second, I'm looking this up. 2 ticks. I am terribly sorry. It's just been so long since I played this, since I had to respond to any comments. Who was it? Amitly! I am terribly sorry, Amitly. I am so sorry for forgetting your username. I was saying this to Amitly in the comments. Kyoko has no proof, but she's a detective. Sometimes you can't go with proof if there is none. Sometimes you have a gut feeling and you have to go with that. That's not to say you should ignore evidence, but sometimes you'll get a feeling about a case and you'll be like, it's this. This is what's going on. I have no proof. I can't prove that, but I think that's what's going on. That's what happened with the Sakura case. I was like, she was smiling. It must have been suicide. I had no evidence to say it was suicide. It was just my gut feeling. That's what Kyoko's had to do. She has a gut feeling about the crime, but she has no real evidence to back it up. Well, hopefully we can find that evidence. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge if you dare call her amazing or something.
however,
Again, you should be saying this louder, Kyoko. You should be on your knees kissing Makoto's feet saying thank you for sacrificing yourself for me. I'm so sorry I did that. You're such a good person. The fact that you've just forgiven me for this horrible, horrible thing I've done. And no, instead she's walking around with her head in the air like, I've done so much. And I'm just like, bitch, you wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for Makoto. Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance. Because you believed in me, another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. Again, anyone could have figured this out. She's not saying something amazing. She's saying what makes sense. Makoto, you could have figured this out if you had only had a bit more faith in yourself. Bitch! Bitch, no! No! You did have the slightest clue. I'm convinced of it. He did have the slightest clue. I hope he did. I really hope. I didn't have the slightest clue.
Wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet.
Whew.
But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least. I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all, because you have the emotional depth of a lizard. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanour is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion. Wouldn't you say? You presenting a strong demeanour is only making me want to punch you in the fucking face and then kick your teeth out. Gonna be brutally honest, it is spurring me to violence. Plus, if I'd shown my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. And now you're gonna slag him off for being nervous. Fucking thanks. No! It's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. Oh, buddy. God damn. God damn. You know what? First I'm gonna take a drink, then I'm gonna tell you a story, okay? So, one day, my ex had brought some of his friends round to his apartment. They were having a game of D&D. They had invited me along. It was me, him, and 6 other people. Of those 6, only one other was a woman. And they were playing Curse of Strahd, which is it's a very good D&D module. I'd highly recommend it. I had met these people a couple of times before. However, we were still in that fairly awkward stage of... I'm also going to pause my timer. There we go. This isn't counting towards the episode. We were still in that awkward stage of we were more than acquaintances, but not quite friends. So I was still really trying to impress these people. And we had just been fighting. We had done like a boss fight. It had taken us about 40 minutes. It was a long ass fight. And we were kind of taking a break, discussing strategy, all of that. Everyone was like restocking drinks and getting food and going to the bathroom. And my boyfriend, he walks out, and from the door he was going out, he had to have been going to the bathroom. That was the only place he could have been going. And he comes back into the living room a few minutes later, and the door was on the left-hand side of the wall. Then there was a 3-person sofa, and I was sat in the rightmost seat. So there's me, a guy, another guy, then the door, right? And he comes through the door, and he leans over he leans in front of the 2 people who were sat in between me and him. They looked kind of like surprised, but everyone was talking, everyone was having a good time. And he goes, Callista, can I ask you a question? And I go, sure, what is it? And he goes, can you tell me what you're supposed to do when you take a poop? Silence. As everyone in the room turns their head to be like, the fuck did I just hear? I am embarrassed. I am mortified. I can't think of anything to say other than, what? Can you tell me what you are supposed to do when you take a poop? He's talking to me like I'm 4. I was a 22-year-old woman. Just wanna point that out. And I'm speechless. I am so embarrassed. I am mortified. I don't know what is happening. So I'm just like, I don't, what you are supposed to do, Callista, is flush. So the next time you decide to take a poop in my toilet, could you please remember to flush like a big girl? Because I've just had to look at one of your turds. And he's looking at me like he expects an apology. And I'm just sat there, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. What? I'm confused. And he starts going, Callista, you were the last person in the bathroom, so it had to have been your turd. I apologize. Apologize right now. And I'm saying, no, I didn't go to the bathroom. And here's the thing. If I hadn't have been so embarrassed, maybe I would have been able to argue, like, logically and with reasoning. But I was so mortified. I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. That was all I wanted. And all I could think of to say was, no, I didn't. And so he's cutting me off. No, there's no need to lie. There's no need to lie. It's just making you look worse, Callista. Admit it. Admit that that was your turd. Admit it. Admit that you're lying. And I'm damn near in tears. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm looking around the room. No one is meeting my eye. Everyone clearly feels awkward as fuck. The poor bastards who were in couch prison, that he was leaning in front of. One of them felt so awkward, he was looking up at the fucking ceiling. He was like, don't make eye contact. Don't do it. So I'm looking around the room. I'm flustered. I'm trying my best not to cry because I'm so embarrassed. I wanted to impress these people. I really wanted to impress these people, and this has happened. And I make eye contact with the only other woman in the room. And my eyes said to her, help me. And her eyes, said back to me, don't worry, I've got you, bitch. Because at that point, she said, don't call Callista a liar. She's not lying. What? She's not lying. The last time she went to the toilet was before the boss fight started. That was around 40 minutes ago. In between then, every single other person in this room has used the bathroom. And considering that none of them complained about there being a turd in the toilet, it can't have been Callista. It had to have been someone afterwards. At which point, these people jumped into action. I have never been so grateful for a inter-party argument to start. All of the guys started to say, well, it wasn't me. Well, I went just after her and I didn't do that. No, you went after me, He finally stood up, releasing the 2 people from couch prison. And he's looking confused. He is looking around like, this isn't what I meant to do. And I look back at the only other woman in the room and I'm like, thank you so much. I didn't verbally say that. Again, we were speaking with our eyes. My eyes were like, thank you. And she was like, don't worry, bitch. Don't worry. Afterwards, everyone left. And I confronted him. I said, what were you doing? Why did you do that? Why did you humiliate me in that manner? Like, why? And he said, bold as brass, proud as anything. Well, I thought you had done that turd. And I didn't want you to do that again, so I figured the best way to get you to alter your behavior was to cause you public humiliation. So he had been trying. to humiliate me. That wasn't some, like, he wasn't trying to bring it up and he accidentally embarrassed me. He went out of his way to humiliate me. And I said to him, that's kind of fucked up. You don't do that to someone, let alone someone that you claim to care about. If you want someone to stop behaving in a certain way, you go up to them and say, hey, you did something, can you not? You don't publicly humiliate them to try and get them to change their behavior. And you know what he said to me? He said, Callista, how dare you try and start an argument with me? I will have you know that my parents got divorced when I was a really little boy, and I have so many terrible, terrible memories of them arguing. So what you are doing now is triggering to me. By starting this argument, you are abusing my trauma. How dare you? How dare you do this? And the stupidest thing of this entire story, I fucking believed him. I was the bad guy. I was the awful, awful person in this situation because I was triggering him, because I was abusing his trauma by trying to argue with him. Let alone, I wasn't even really arguing. I was saying you did a shitty thing. I don't consider that to be an argument. But oh no, I couldn't do that. I just had to accept his behavior. Otherwise, I was an arsehole. I cannot begin to say I was a pathetic little creature. I was. I genuinely believed myself to be that. I would look in the mirror when I came home from being with him, and I would think, he's right. He is so right. Look at you. Look at you. You are morbidly obese. Your face is fucking munted. And you are stupid as fuck. Why would anyone be interested in you? You are pathetic. You are pathetic. You should feel so lucky that someone like him would want anything to do with you. And I was pathetic. I find my behavior to be truly pathetic. I should have grown a spine. And it... Take another sip. My tears of frustration taste like lemonade. Oh, Mr. Nayagi, I don't know whether to feel badly for him or to be disgusted. I really don't. I really fucking don't. Okay, back to the game. This is gonna be a really long episode. I'm so sorry. We'll consider it a special. We'll consider it a return to recording special. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However...
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
Correct.
Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. All of the bullshit I've put you through will have been meaningless. Make it meaningful, Makoto. Make it meaningful. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There is no option except to win.
Hey.
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. I'm gonna grab that, because I've just realized I haven't grabbed a thumbnail. I tried to grab a thumbnail, and the game sped up. Okay. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone. If you say no, we can't do that.
However...
Is that really possible? If you don't act like a colossal bitch, then yes, it is possible. Huh?
Anyway,
Right now, we have to go find the others.
Shall we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Okay, go. How do I leave? Ah! Run! Run the fuck away! For like 5 minutes, I don't have to speak to Kyoko. It's bliss. It's such bliss. Okay. That was the red room. Aha, this way. The Despair Hotel. Guys, where is you at? Are you in the... It's nighttime, so... I don't think... Maybe yes, no? Okay. Oh, shit. And suddenly we were greeted with... Buddy, what dis? What dis? Let me find his voice. Okay, there we go. I think I got it. You again? He's good at that. It's got the letter 12032122255. Is he broken? I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit. I'm just, my throat, it takes a lot out of me. Some adults, 6-1. Jeez, what the heck?
However,
I wonder what that was all about. I have no idea, bitch. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. This feels like Hina. Out of everyone, Hina's been the one who's been the most...
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
Oh, no, god damn it. I keep pressing the wrong button. There we go. There we go. Hi, you're all alive. I like some of you.
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
huh? You survived?
Yeah, no thanks to you, bitch. No thanks to any of you.
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
Fuck you too, Byakuya.
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
And fuck you, Hero. That's not a jokey fuck you. I don't like you. You are at the bottom of my list. Ish. Kyoko wins, but like, you're nah. Everyone was there. All of my friends who had struggled together and survived with friends like these, Makoto. With friends like these, you don't need enemies. Jesus Christ, bud, you need to get better friends. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
What?
Wait, what's that smell? It's me. It's me. I was in the garbage pit.
What the heck?
Yeah, man, that seriously stinks. It's Makoto. He smells like a wet dog. Get away! Shoo! Pot calling kettle black, Toko. Aww. And in a flash, my tears dried up. These hoes. Okie doke, and you know what? I am gonna leave this episode off right here. In the next one, we've got a reunion. The gang is back together. More opportunities for them to abuse Makoto. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.